My name's Alec Purdie. I am the technical manager at Quelfire. I joined in February 2020. Lucky in Quelfire that I've had quite a lot of proud moments from different things. So getting in with new main contractors and developing with them and working on projects. So obviously I have a large history of Wilmot Dixon, where we started very small mainly in the southwest of the UK, but now we've expanded and we've had great success. Help them with their yellow book and their way of doing things, and they're very heavily invested in the design and then build aspects. So we've seen great success with them, and we've seen it with others. So project I did with Kia, which was a hospital in Bath, the council ward. Again, they weren't used to working with Quelfire. Thankfully, the fire stopper installer at the time, which was Optimum Drywall, were very big on early engagement because it benefits them. They want to make sure they're installing things correctly, so they got us involved. We did about a year's worth of early engagement, quite extensive, to the point where we even had to go away and test certain things that are used in hospitals that are not used in residential. And it was great success. They've had great things. I think that project's won awards. We've done a case study on it, etc. So that I've been very proud of that. I mean, obviously the proudest moment I think have been the night that we, obviously Quelfire won quite a few awards at the ASFP event. So we were put forward for customer service. It was the first time they'd ever had that award, and we won that. And obviously that was the same year I won training and development. So we came away from 3 awards. So I was very proud that night. It was a good evening. So yeah, that was probably so far, to watch this space, that's the proudest moment. The most interesting challenge, I suppose, actually probably when I first started Quelfire. So I started in 2020, knew nothing. I knew nothing about passive fire protection, so I threw myself in the deep end, started reading up on everything, when I did my IFE level 3. But it came quite quickly to me that the challenge was of finding the information. That was a big challenge, is the fact that it wasn't just Quelfire, it was everyone in the industry. Everything was just so generic or bland and just not there. So as people would have seen on the journey with Quelfire, we've seen how much we've developed. Our detailed drawings provide all the information. You know, when I joined, I think we had something like 26, and we're close to probably 1,000, and that's only because we've tried to limit them. We could actually spread them out a lot more, but people will be searching for our documents for days. So yeah, that making sure people have the information, the challenge of, again, working out that my small bit also impacts the other bits and find that. So the challenge has been trying to work out, and we still have that challenge, trying to make it work. But I think stuff that we've done recently, such as some golden rules for MEP designers to help with this design stage, is tackling that challenge of giving everyone the information, giving them that sort of guidance to have the right path. And yeah, I think it's been extremely successful. So that's been my biggest challenge, but also I think one of the biggest successes as well. I was actually only in the industry for about 5 months before I went and did my training, because I threw myself in the deep end. I wanted to learn, you know. So yeah, I do think anyone that wants to take passive fire protection seriously should get involved. It's obviously level 2 is the initial stage. So depending on your level, obviously I was quite technical focused, so I just jumped to level 3, which is more in depth. But anyone that wants to take passive fire protection seriously at the moment, because there is very little in regards to training, should look into it. And yeah, and you know, any assistance, we do have a little video on our Burning Questions page that talks about it, just for those that think they can just do the course and then do the exam right at the end. A lot of them tend to fall at that hurdle. You do need to give yourself a little bit of time. So I did my training in October and then did my exam later, and I found that quite successful because it gave me time to revise, etc. But yeah, I think IFE is key to anyone in the industry. So the main trait to work at Quelfire, I think, is I've always said attitude and behaviours are the main thing. So I think, you know, we could get people in. You know, we're quite a close, small team. We only bring in people that work, you know, in our bubble type thing. And I think it's that attitude and behaviours is the key trait, because if you don't care about the end user, you know, I've always said that, you know, even though they're not buying my products, it's the people that are living in these buildings that I care about the most. You know, committed to being open, honest. We'd rather work with people that have the same values as ourselves, and we're not, you know, making sales is not the vital thing. So again, even with our sales team, that they know the limits. They're not going to go beyond our limits. We're very open and honest. And if something doesn't work with Quelfire, we'll say, you know, that there's, you know, unfortunately, no manufacturer out there can give you the answer to everything. We know that. We know our limitations, and we'll stick to them. But we grow. You know, just because something was a no or not yet last year doesn't mean it's the same this year. So it's why we have people come back, because we go away, we take that feedback and grow. But the attitude and behaviours, and I think anyone that's worked with Quelfire will see that, how passionate we are and how true we are to our values will show why Team Orange is a success.